Hello. Today is Thursday, November 27th at 11:09 p.m. I recorded a video before this called I Journal Every Day and Still Run Out of Ideas. So I thought that this would be a good video to truly do a sort of journal session because it's been a while. Most of the content or these sorts of talking head videos that I've been putting out so far or recently are specific topics that I give value to you. But I want to focus on this video or this journal to be about me, how I'm feeling, and what I can say without being too specific, without giving away too much of my personal life, if you know what I mean. There are things that I would like to say, but I don't want to say, if that makes sense, in terms of a public journal. So keep that in mind. I would like to sleep soon. I was actually going to sleep now because I want to try to wake up early tomorrow. I would like to at least be active. I don't know if I want to call that what I do a workout, because I literally just do like some push-ups, some pull-ups, and then some other exercises. And I don't know if I would count that as like a full workout, but it's just me getting active just so that I can burn some calories, but at the same time maintain my muscle mass. And I haven't had like a real solid workout session in a while, but it's been pretty decent, I think, in terms of the amount of time that I put in to exercising and working out. If I were to go more towards like the failure route and do my reps until failure, I think I would progress a lot more. But for what I'm doing, I'd say it's pretty decent. But that's why I would like to sleep a little earlier. I am exhausted. I think yesterday or last night was the first night that I've had in a while where I didn't get an adequate amount of sleep, so enough sleep. And I think my threshold for a good night's sleep would be 7 to 8 hours, at least 7 hours. So yesterday or last night, I got around 6. So it's not too bad, but it's still not enough for me. I preferably would like to get 8, at least 8. And if I can get 7, I would still count that as a win. So for me to get 6, it would affect me a little bit. And I know that there are like people out there, a bunch of you that are like, I could function on 6 hours fine. I'm not one of those people, okay? So I'm tired, and then I'm also sort of mentally and socially exhausted. Don't get me wrong, I'm super happy right now and super grateful, but it's just like you can't really help it, especially if you're like an introvert. You get socially exhausted, and I feel like over time, like a amount of years has passed by, and I feel like I've not like gaining a tolerance for being with people for so long, or for like many consecutive days in a row and being with people all day every day. I feel like I've gotten like sort of used to it. But at the same time, it's just like I also would like an equal amount of time, if not a little bit more, to myself. It's kind of, I'm not really sure how to explain it, how to express it as well. But that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling physically exhausted, socially exhausted, mentally exhausted. But at the same time, very, very happy, very, very grateful for where I'm at this point in my life. So that's the whole point in sort of documenting like I feel like my default whenever I talk in front of the camera now is just like it's to try to get value to you, the person that's watching this video. So it's kind of hard for me to divert back to it just being like a journal session, a true journal session, where I'm just like explaining whatever I'm feeling and thinking about whatever I'm thinking. A random thought though is that I was having some conversations and I'm like, man, we're getting old. Like I feel a little bit old because of the conversations that I've been having, but also like the things that I've been realizing about myself. Like for example, like I get excited about a paper towel holder just because I've never seen that sort of design before. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And that specific moment, I'm like, I feel like I'm getting old just because I don't know. It's like it's a piece of furniture or like something that goes inside of your house. But I feel like it's also at the same time it's like it's nice because it allows me, or it shows that I'm a little bit more appreciative of like the little things more than I was before. So me thinking that that paper towel holder, like a different design, was really cool was me just sort of being a better version of myself and me appreciating the little things a little bit more. So in that way, in that case, it makes me a little bit more happy, like knowing that I've grown a little bit more as a person in that sort of way, at least. So tomorrow, I feel like it's gonna be an exhausting day, but I think it's gonna be not as bad as I think. It's gonna go great. It's just, I feel like I have so much, yes, I have so much at my plate despite being an unemployed person at the moment. But, like, hear me out. I feel like I have so much on my plate for the rest of the year that it's sort of hard to just think about things in the future, that I have to focus on what's in front of me now or like in the near future, if that makes sense. Like, don't get me wrong, planning for the future is very, very important, but I feel like you gotta kind of balance these two things and not to think about the stuff that's too far ahead to the point where you're gonna get all anxious and start to think about what you want to do that far ahead and not take any action at all, but not do things too last second to the point where you're like, okay, I didn't prepare at all for this one event or for this thing, and I don't know what to do anymore. So it's like the more things that I think about, that I do, that I experience, everything more is like on a case by case basis. So not all things are black and white. Like I feel like most, if not everything, is not black and white. And like you could, I think I've used this example before, but it's been a while, so I'm gonna say it. For example, how to drive a car. You can explain it in like black and white terms, where there's this one pedal on the right, that's gas, one pedal on the left, that's the brake, and there might be another pedal next to that called the clutch. You use the steering wheel to turn. You have signals depending on where you're at in the world. And then you have like a gear shifter. There's a manual transmission and an automatic transmission. You can explain it just as simple as that. But then there's so many different like nuances or things to explain about driving that I feel like not many people talk about, because I feel like anyone can drive a car, but not everyone can drive a car, if that makes sense. For example, there are different techniques when it comes to braking smoothly, to accelerating smoothly, and then like manual transmission is a whole different thing. Like there's like a lot of principles are at work, and a lot of it is subconscious. And so that means not many people are aware of what they're doing. There's this one example that still pertains to driving. Some people still have their gas held on the gas when they see a light that's red, up until like not the very last second, but they start braking soon. For me personally, I mean, it also still depends. Like again, it's not black and white. It depends how far away I am from that stoplight. But I usually would just let the gas go and let my car sort of like coast to the stop sign or stop light. So I would have my gas off my foot off the gas, and then I would have my foot hovering, if not sort of kind of on the brake, but not pressing up against it so that it'll activate the brake, just so that like I could be ready for anything. And if I need to press on the gas, I could just very quickly switch. See, that one little thing is it's so niche, but it's something to think about. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end it off here. I went to like a bunch of different sort of places in this vlog, this journal session, and that's usually how it goes. Not just for these videos, but whenever I journal physically on a sheet of paper, on my notebook, or through typing on my iPad, on my iPhone. You never know where your ideas could lead you. But if you were to leave with anything from this video, there's a lot of different things, but I don't know how to say it. Like, just be more positive. The more positive thoughts that you think, that's why being grateful is so important. The more positive thoughts that you bring up, the more positively you will think, not only in the present moment, but subconsciously. When something bad happens, you try to figure out how to turn that bad thing into a good thing. And it's not necessarily like always that case, but something positive can always come about from these things that happen to you, especially like in the form of lessons. So I don't even know how I connected all of that. It probably doesn't even connect. Who knows? But that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you appreciate. I hope this encourages you to journal, because when you journal, it can literally be about anything and everything that you want. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.